Hi, second grade. This is going to be your first lesson, your first math lesson. We're starting a new module, so we're doing something new. We're going to start sorting and recording data into tables and putting different data into categories. So if you want to get out of your folder your application problem, this is lesson 1. And let's look at your application problem, your redraw right first. So it asks you to take 24 penguins, and they're sliding on ice, and then there's 18 whales splashing in the ocean. How many more penguins than whales are there? That's the problem. I want you guys to use this tape diagram to try and solve it. So this is what you're going to draw. So we've read the problem. Now you need to draw this tape diagram and try and solve. And I want you to think, is this addition? Is this subtraction? How do we solve and find out how many more penguins than whales there are? So take a minute and do that. You can hit pause. Okay, if you've hit pause and you've tried on your own, and that's what I wanted you to do, you can kind of take a look now at how we solve. So we have 24 penguins, and we need to subtract the whales to figure out how many more penguins we have than whales. So 24 minus 18 is, you can pause and try and solve, 6. And I think that's all that they wanted you to do on that. And then to write your sentence, there are 6 more penguins than whales. So write that on the back and your redraw right will be done. Okay, so let's take a look at the lesson for today. So one thing we're going to do is we're looking at different data tables and things like that. So first thing we're going to do is put animals into different categories. And I know you guys will be excited because I know you love talking about animals. So if we were in class together, we'd play a guessing game right now, and you guys could tell me where we could put each animal in each category, but since I can't hear your responses, I'm just going to kind of do it for you. So we have bird, mammal, reptile, and fish. Those are our 4 categories, okay? And I want you guys to kind of pause the video and think, what are some characteristics of animals that we can list here under each of these different categories? So ask yourself, what does a bird have? What's a characteristic of a bird? Okay, think about it for a second. So birds have feathers, they have wings, they have 2 legs, they have beaks, and they lay eggs. Now think about what the characteristics are of a mammal. Okay? Mammals have hair or fur. They feed milk to their babies. They give birth to live young. So that means that they don't have kids that lay in eggs. And they're warm-blooded. And then you can think about reptiles. What do reptiles have? Reptiles are like lizards and snakes. They have scales. Their skin is really dry. They usually lay eggs, just like birds. And they are very cold-blooded. And then our last category is going to be fish. So same thing, think about what characteristics fish have. They have scales, they have gills on their necks where they can breathe underwater. They lay eggs, and just like reptiles, they're also cold-blooded. Okay? So now we've had 4 categories, and we've taken different characteristics and lists underneath those categories. So then you can go down here to your sentence frame, and kind of like what we do in independent reading, where you guys go read a book and you have to fill in these sentence frames, we're going to do the same thing in math. So you can go up here and pick bird, mammal, reptile, or fish, and put it right here. A bird has, and pick a characteristics, has feathers and a beak. Okay? It can, what would you say? We'd have to use something under bird because we're talking about a bird. It can lay eggs. It is, let's see if we can find something. Oh yeah, we didn't say what type of blood they have. They're warm-blooded. So we could say it is warm-blooded. Now you could do this with any of your categories. We could put mammal here and then fill in the rest of the information. So over here, this is a table, okay? This is called animal classification. To classify something means we talk about it and describe it in a way where we can group other things with it. So we classify something by its characteristics, okay? So let's take a look at this chart. And you've got to ask yourself, how can we organize all this information so it's easier so we know what's in each category, okay? So we're going to use tally marks. And I know you guys have used tally marks in the past. A tally mark looks like this, right? Just one little line. So let's see here. Let me read for a second. The lesson wants me to show you pictures of birds and pictures of mammals and reptiles and fish. So if the picture would have an animal that has scales, lay eggs, dry skin, we would say there's one reptile. If we showed you a picture of a fish, we would start recording it like that. So this would be used in the lesson if I had pictures of the animals and I could show you, and then we would record them that way. But we'd have to use our characteristics to do that part. Okay. Looking at your guys's, so we're looking at the problem set right now. If you guys want to get that open, it says count and categorize each picture to complete the table with tally marks. And like I said, a tally mark is a line. So you have to look at your animals, the pictures of the animals, and we're going to tally mark which ones have no legs, 2 legs, and 4 legs, because those are characteristics of animals like we were talking about in the lesson. We're going to categorize them. So look at the snake. Ask yourself, does a snake have legs? No. So we need to put 1 tally mark, and then you need to cross off the picture of the snake. Let's look at the picture of the dog. How many legs does a dog have? Now, don't let the picture fool you, because they're kind of hard to see, but a dog has 4 legs. So we put 1 tally mark underneath 4 legs and cross off the picture of the dog. Okay, and keep going. So you'll do all those animals. Same thing for number 2. It says count and categorize each picture to complete the table with numbers. I want you to use tally marks here too. So for fur, and then feathers, characteristics of animals. So you're going to go look at the picture of the bear. Does a bear have fur or feathers? Fur. So just put a tally mark and then cross off the picture of the bear. Make sure you've done all the animals. On the back, it says use the animal habitats table to answer the following questions. So it gives you a table with tally marks already filled out. A habitat is where an animal lives. So a forest is where you would find bears. Wetlands is where you'd find ducks and geese. Grasslands, that's where maybe like tigers and zebras would live. So you have to go down and answer the questions. How many animals have habitats on grasslands and wetlands? And, that's an important word. When you see the word and, you're going to add those two together. So you're going to add grasslands and wetlands together to get that answer. So you're going to answer all those questions using that chart. On number 4, it gives you animal classification table, and instead of tally marks, it's numbers. So it's the same thing. So if there's 1 tally mark here, you could put the number 1. So they're interchangeable, that you can change them out. Use that chart to answer the questions on number 4. And then your exit ticket. Since we're not in school technically, I just want you to do the exit ticket. You can ask your parents for help on it. You can ask me for help and send me an email. Just treat it like it's more of your problem set, okay? Don't worry about the exit ticket being what we usually do in class. Okay, And then your homework for lesson 1. We're taking a look at it. Gotta find it. Your homework, you can use your homework helper and it tells you, but it's the same thing. You're just going to count and categorize pictures, put tally marks in tables, and keep working on that. And then it gives you 2 different tables, very similar to the problem set. And that's lesson 1, kids.